The 2023 Social Security cost of living adjustment is likely going to provide a much bigger raise than what we're actually anticipating. I have all the details and the full breakdown for you right here in the video, so let's get right into it. All right, the very highly anticipated annual raise because of the COLA is going to be different this coming year in 2023, so I want to talk you through the details, how it's going to be different, and how it's going to impact your benefits in a pretty good way going forward, and likely going to provide a much bigger raise than what we generally receive just because of some changes that are actually going on right here, right now. So let's get into it and discuss all of these moving parts. But really fast before we do, thank you so much for joining me. If you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, please make sure to subscribe by hitting the button right down below the video. It's totally free to do so, and I am your one and only daily advocate, as I'm here for you each and every day, doing all the research and breaking it all down into these short videos so that you can stay updated with what is really going on right now, especially as it pertains to money, your fixed income benefits, new bills, piece of legislation, reform to these very important programs, as well as checks, programs, and so much more that I'm covering right here in the videos every single day, as there's a lot going on and things are changing very, very rapidly. So again, thanks so much for joining me. Please make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet, so you don't miss any videos going forward during this very busy time. And let's get into it and discuss the all-important annual cost of living adjustment and what it's going to look like going forward in 2023. What are some of the changes here, and why could this year actually provide a much bigger raise than what we typically see? All right, so let's talk about this. So there's actually a couple different moving parts that are going on right here, right now. Of course, the inflation situation also relates to the annual cost of living adjustment and how much we're going to receive. But there's also something else going on right now that also may translate into a pretty big raise for your monthly benefits and how much money you actually get to keep on a monthly basis. So number one, let's quickly talk about the inflation situation. I don't want to talk about this a ton here simply because we've covered it many, many times in previous videos, just in regards to what's actually going on right now. But let me talk about this for just a minute here and then discuss how this actually translates into your monthly benefit, and then we'll talk about the other moving parts and what else is going on right now that could translate into yet again, like I said, a pretty big raise for your monthly benefits. All right, so as we know, inflation is very high right now, right around 8.5%, give or take a couple tenths of a percent, depending on when we actually look at the months. But we've been oscillating around this 8.5% range for quite a while. However, that is just the general CPI, Consumer Price Index. However, they actually indicate the annual raise for Social Security as a result of the COLA pegged off of the CPI-W, which is the Consumer Price Index for urban wage workers and clerical workers. That's what that stands for. However, this is sitting at nearly 9.5%. So this is the key number that we want to watch going forward, because the CPI and the CPI-W are two very different numbers. 8.5% versus nearly 9.5%. So we're looking at an extra percentage point higher on the CPI-W than what we're seeing on the CPI, right? So anyway, this is very important to understand. So what we're actually looking at right now is, like I said, nearly a 9.5% CPI-W as of right now, which, again, that's what's going to translate into the annual cost of living adjustment. But one more quick side note here. The annual cost of living adjustment, we know, is announced typically in mid-October out of the Social Security Administration. So I know that we're still a couple months out from there, but here we still need to understand what is going on with this, because these are still some very important numbers and some different things that are going on. So let me lay out for you now really quickly why we may be seeing a pretty significant raise here. And at the end of the day, how much is actually going to flow back to you each and every month as a result of a raise to your monthly benefits? It all comes down to the Medicare Part B premium. Now, I know this seems pretty basic, but hear me out for a second, because something is going on here with the Medicare Part B premium this year in 2022 that's going to translate into some pretty big changes for your benefits and your COLA, cost of living adjustment, next year in 2023. Here's what's happening. So last year in late 2021, we got the announcement out of CMS, which is the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, that they were going to be raising Medicare Part B premiums up by 14.5%, or over $21.50 per month on the Medicare Part B premium. However, what happened is all of that was coming, or what I should say is about half of that raise was coming from that very expensive Alzheimer's prescription. Well, now that we've learned here in 2022, after months and months of delays, we finally got some announcements out of them, and here's what we're learning about this. Because they've actually reduced the number of patients that are going to be getting this very expensive Alzheimer's prescription, they basically lowered the eligibility for this, and very few patients are actually going to be getting this versus the original numbers. Well, last year when they adjusted the Medicare Part B premium, they actually accounted for the extra income coming in on the premium because of anticipating significantly more patients actually taking this prescription. Well, as a result of that, they're actually realizing now that they can probably give back a vast majority of that premium that they're collecting right here in 2022. So here's what it's coming down to. This year in 2022, like I said, over $21, about $21.60 was tacked on to the Medicare Part B premium going forward every single month. Well, about $11 of that raise is actually because of that very expensive Alzheimer's prescription. So now what we're actually anticipating is we could see about $11 of this current premium right now being applied to the Medicare Part B premium for next year, 2023. So basically what it comes down to is we are prepaying this year in 2022 for any potential raises that could be coming next year in 2023. Here's what it comes down to. The Medicare Part B premium for 2023 may be staying the same, probably not going up, but it may actually go down a little bit. I don't want to hold my breath on that one because realistically, what are the likelihood of it actually going down? Well, I'm going to say this much. It's probably not likely that it's going to go down, but it could be possible that the Medicare Part B premium might possibly go down next year. However, what I actually anticipate seeing instead would be that the premium just stays static. It does not change. It doesn't go up and it doesn't go down, but rather it stays right where it is, $170.10 every single month for the Medicare Part B premium. Now again, it would be nice if it went down, but at the end of the day, since we're prepaying this year in 2022 on the Medicare Part B premiums for next year, we could be seeing a kind of a reprieve on the Medicare Part B benefits or premiums going forward. Again, this would be good. Now, let me tell you how this all translates into the annual cost of living adjustment and, of course, this Medicare Part B premium increase / staying the same. So, check this out. Because of the actual inflation data that we're seeing right here, right now, as a result of the CPI, the CPI-W, and these readings that are coming out right now, we're actually anticipating that we could be seeing an 8.5%, a 9%, possibly even up to nearly a 10% raise on the annual cost of living adjustment for 2023. However, generally, over the last, however many years, forever, basically, as we get that raise out of the COLA, generally Medicare Part B premiums come in and swoop in and take it all away, right? Been there, done that. We all know what I'm talking about. Generally, this happens where the Medicare Part B premium usually takes away the vast majority of the COLA raise once it's applied. However, 2023 may be vastly different, as in the Medicare Part B premium may not actually increase, so any raise that we could see here, which could be possibly historic, possibly the biggest raise that we've seen for Social Security since 1981, we could be receiving all of that benefit. So all of the percentage raise that we get may actually be going right into our pockets. It'd be amazing, right? It's like the Black Swan event, right? It's like one of these events that almost never happens, but there's a rare event out there every so often where something actually flips in our favor, and it might actually be a pretty good thing here. So, number one, the annual cost of living adjustment may be very big right now going into 2023, the biggest that we've seen in about 41 or 42 years. That's number one. Number two, the Medicare Part B premium may be staying static. If it goes up, it might be going up very tiny, and if it goes down, it might be going down a teeny tiny bit. But the fact of the matter is, it might be staying about right where it is. As a result of that, we might get to pocket the entire, the full cost of living adjustment. Amazing, right? And it could be a pretty big one. So we could be looking at, like I said, 8.5%, 9%, 9.5%, possibly even up to 10% as a raise from the COLA. Amazing, right? So Usually, the Medicare premiums would come in and take away, the vast majority of it. But this year, it may be very different. So anyway, it's looking very encouraging right now based on the information that we're receiving out of CMS and all the preliminary information on the inflation, things like this. All the stars are kind of starting to align right now, and we might be looking at a pretty nice situation here going forward. So anyway, as I do get more details on this, and as this whole situation plays out, of course, I'll be right here for you, breaking it down, letting you know how this is going to impact you and your monthly benefits going forward. So again, thanks so much for watching this. I really do appreciate it. Please make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. Share the video with your friends, family, social media, and go back and check out some of the other thousands of videos right here on the channel. Until next time, have a good one, enjoy your day, and I'll catch you again later in the next video.